graduated from Rowan University in the spring of 2022 with a sports communication and media degree. I got to actually call minor league baseball and G League basketball games while I was in school. And then I graduated, and as soon as I graduated, I went to NFL Films in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. And as much as I loved that experience, I miss putting on the headsets. I decided, you know what, talk is cheap. I have a laptop that's in my house, and so 21 months later, here we are, still on YouTube, calling games and building an incredible, loving community on here with the people that I call my Philly freaks with a capital P and a capital H. We go live for every single Phillies, Sixers, and Eagles game, and we do it like old school radio play-by-play style. I'm Jason Joseph, and this is Play-by-Play with JJ.
I showed a swung on, barreled out to right field. Bye-bye baseball.
That baby is long gone.
What's going on, everybody? Hopefully you're all doing well and having yourselves a very fantastic day. My name is Jason Joseph. Let me know if you guys can hear me well down below. I did not do audio test today, and I do apologize about that. So let me know how we do sound. Give me a 1 if we sound good. Yes, sir. All right, so the game is not being shown today, but I still wanted to come on because I don't know how many games, how many spring training games that we're going to be able to do this week. And I really want to see Justin Crawford. Again, I know I'm not going to be able to watch, but I would just like to react in real time to how Justin Crawford does today. Brandon Marsh is also making his 2026 debut as well. So that'll be interesting to see how he does, especially against Shane McClanahan. That should be a very intriguing matchup. McClanahan is a guy that obviously is probably going to be one of the top pitchers for the Tampa Bay Rays this year. So really looking forward to see how the Phillies hit against him and what they're able to provide. Otto Kemp is somebody that also you're going to want to look out for today. Is he going to provide some pop in the bat again? We saw him play about a week ago or so, and he ended up hitting his first long ball. So, again, how does he do today with the guys that are being that are sent off to the World Baseball Classic? Right, these guys get more opportunities, and that's the really cool thing about spring training during the World Baseball Classic is that yes, more players get to represent their countries, but there's also, of course, the players that are sent to go play. At these, for their countries, there's also more opportunities for these young guys to get more reps in. And so that is really intriguing about this. And so that's what I'm going to be looking for today. So PJ is here. Thanks, Jim. Thanks, George. Appreciate you guys very, very much. Wow, we just got breaking news that Jurickson Profar for the Braves is facing a 162-game suspension after testing positive for a performance-enhancing drug for the second time. You know, this is a guy that I wanted last year, and they actually said, Ken Rosenthal said, Profar was due to earn $15 million in salary. Braves actually would save $18 million. They were over the luxury tax threshold and paying 20% for every dollar they were above, but they will obviously need an outfielder, he says. But, I mean, this was a guy that I thought that would really benefit the Phillies, and gosh, I mean, like, I wanted the Phillies to get him a couple of years ago when he was available after he left the San Diego Padres, but man, that is crazy. That's unbelievable. All right, so yes, let's get on into the starting lineups for this afternoon. I want to hear a chat from you guys. I want to know, what are you guys looking for today? Who is somebody that you're going to be keeping your eye on? I think Justin Crawford is probably going to get a lot of looks. Otto Kemp for sure. Brandon Marsh. I mean, I think that the three top hitters for the Phillies are going to be something that you're really going to want to see. Brandon Marsh. Is he going to be a left fielder? Is he a center fielder? Is he going to play right field sometimes? This guy's going to be thrown around a lot. What do you guys think about him hitting lefties? That's been a big struggle that he has had to deal with ever since he's become a Philly, and Kevin Long just has not been able to figure that out. Can he do better this year? I don't know. I really don't know. There's a lot of question marks with this Phillies outfield, so I would say that the top three hitters are going to be something that I'm looking for today. It'll also be very interesting to see who pitches out of the bullpen for the Philadelphia Phillies. When is Duran going to pitch? That's really a question that I have. I don't know. I really don't know. The game is also on audio, so I might be able to listen at the same time and call it. I remember there was one time when I was in college where I saw somebody doing that, and I was like, dude, that's like really impressive. So I kind of wanted to try out that skill today because God forbid if it ever gets blacked out on MLB.TV and on, NBC Sports Philadelphia. Got to be able to do that. So the top three for sure says Jim. Jim, thanks so much for being on here, man. All right, let's get on into the starting lineups for this afternoon. So the Phillies will have Justin Crawford lead things off, and then it'll be Otto Kemp, Brandon Marsh, and then you got Rafael Marchand, Felix Reyes, Christian Cairo, Brian Rincon, Arun Escobar, and last but certainly not least, it'll be Jose Rodriguez, who will be DHing this afternoon for the Philadelphia Phillies. Is that correct? Yes, it is. Okay, sorry about that. For the Rays, they have Walls, Diaz, Mullins, Williamson, Fraley, Velade, Feducia, DeLuca, and Palacios out there for the Tampa Bay Rays. Not fully familiar with their roster, so that's Taylor Walls, Yandy Diaz, Cedric Mullins, and I'm just going off the top of my head. Williamson, I don't know. And the lineup just disappeared. Great. Awesome. Fraley, that's Jake Fraley. Velade, Feducia, I remember Feducia, and John DeLuca, I want to say. Yep, Johnny DeLuca playing out in center, and not Julio Rodriguez, that's Richie Palacios. Yep, there we go. Used to play for the Pittsburgh Pirates. See, so my memory kind of gets back to me a little bit. But yes. All right, so Crawford is going to lead things off for the Phillies, and we shall be ready to go right now. All right, so let's go. Top three hitters. Okay, my other question to you is, should Justin Crawford bat in the leadoff spot this season on opening day? This will be interesting, again, to see how he does. That's something that I'm also very intrigued that Rob is doing today, putting him in the leadoff spot against a guy like Shane McClanahan. So we'll see. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes, by the way, to Justin Crawford. So, all right. Let's make sure that we do this. I probably should turn this up. Crawford just got on with a leadoff single. It was a base hit up the middle. And so, Crawford able to get on over at first base. Nice. They said that it was a slider, or that was a four-seamer that was right down the middle, and he was able to single out over towards left field. And so now Otto Kemp is coming on up to the plate. I'm excited for Otto Kemp, says Jim. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. I'm also excited as well. Crawford leads off over at first. And there's a ground ball hit over to third. The throw over the second is in time. And so it's a 4-3 put out. And 5-4-3 double play, I should say. So Kemp did ground on into a double play, got on top of the pitch. I'd like to know where the pitch was. It was a changeup that was down the middle. So a 5-4-3 double play, and there's 2 gone already. And up to bat is Brandon Marsh. Takes the first pitch on the outside corner for a called strike. As far as the defense goes for the Rays, they got DeLuca out in the center field, Fraley in right, and Velade in left. We'll get to the infielders in just a bit. Counts now 0-2 to Brandon Marsh. Rafael Marchand waits in the on-deck circle. Again, the game is not on video today. It's on audio only. The next pitch is inside, and it's a 1-2 count. The umpires this afternoon, they got Matt Blackborough as the home plate umpire. Ben May over at first, Ryan Wills over at second, and Felix Neon at third. The pitch, there was a ground ball hit over to the third baseman, and the throw on over to first is in time, and the inning is done. So Justin Crawford does get on with a leadoff single, but Kemp grounds into a 5-4-3 double play, and Brandon Marsh grounds out to third. And so there's 3 outs, and we're going to go to the bottom of the first inning. This really isn't so bad, just calling this from listening. This is a really good, again, I wanted to try this out today because God forbid if this ever does happen, I want to try to get better at this skill. I've seen somebody do it before, but not bad. A little bit of a delay, but this is a little bit of a test for me, which was nice. Okay. Now we can turn this down a little bit. See that Team Canada's playing against Toronto this afternoon. That's pretty cool. Kevin Gausman is pitching. Where's everybody tapping on in from? Let me know down below. How'd you guys find this channel? Would love to hear how you guys found us on the YouTube side of things. We are now 11 subscribers away from getting to the 8330 marker. As far as the lineup goes for the Tampa Bay Rays, again, it's right over here. It's Walls, Diaz, Mullins, Williamson, Fraley, Velade, Feducia, DeLuca, and Palacios. That are the starting 9 for Tampa Bay. The Rays this year, 3-7 in spring training. They have a 3-2 record out at home. Tampa Bay has a split squad game today. And, yeah, it is a split squad game. They're up 2-0 against the Minnesota Twins. That game is in the top of the first, and now it's a 3-0 game for them. Philly, seen you cover RB one night, and I followed you ever since. Philly, take with RB, my guy. That is the man, the myth, and the legend. I appreciate you, man. That's pretty cool. I'm nervous about this Sixers game tonight. I really am. We'll get there when we get there. I'm just trying to enjoy spring training right now at the moment and not trying to think about the 76ers, but that's a little bit tough. John says, I'm tapping in from the king size with Lamont curled up. All right, so we're in the bottom of the first. Already 1 out recorded. Again, we aren't able to get the game on TV. It's just an audio game only. And so Yandy Diaz is going to come on up to the plate. Rangel ended up throwing 1 pitch to Taylor Walls, and he flied out to center. Here's the pitch to Diaz, and he's going to line a double out over towards left center field. And so that's going to put a runner on over at second. It was actually Diaz, excuse me. There was, the batter reached on with an error. It was a fielding error by Brandon Marsh. It was a single, and then he ended up going on over to second base. So Brandon Marsh already making a mistake. And again, we're not able to see it, so couldn't necessarily tell how he fielded it. I got to turn this back up. So it's a single and an E9. Jim says, me too. Yeah, I hear you. It's 1 ball, no strikes, by the way. Up to bat is Cedric Mullins. Mullins, of course, was on the Orioles last year and then got traded at the deadline to the New York Mets. 1 ball, 1 strike. Next pitch is up high for ball 2. I don't know where the Rays are going to finish this year. They're sort of an interesting team to me. The whole American League East is wild. 2-1. And it was foul back over towards the screen. You guys can't hear this, right? 2 balls, 2 strikes. You can't hear what's going on in the background, correct? 2-2 pitch. That was foul-tipped out of the glove of Rafael Marchand. And shout out to Greg Murphy calling this game over on the Phillies radio side of things. Always been a big fan of Greg. All right, and the pitch. It's hit over towards the first base side. It was a ground ball. And that is going to result in another foul ball. 2-2 is the count still. Rangel is on the mound. Forgot to mention that. And the next pitch is downstairs for ball 3. So the count is now full at 3-2. Allen is now 28 years old. Had a 2.45 ERA last year. Struck out 8. And the next pitch is way outside for ball 4. And there is a 1-out walk issued to Cedric Mullins. And that's going to put runners over at first and second. So Rangel gives up a single after getting Wells to fly out to center. And then Marsh made a fielding error. So that's what caused the runner to go on over to second base. And Mullins just walked. And here comes Williamson to the plate. All right. Is the at-bat going on? The pitch swung on and hit foul. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. First pitch was way outside at 93. Next pitch, the 1-0 pitch that was fouled was at 94. The next pitch is down for ball 2. And so the count is now 2-1. So Williamson, who's in the box, right-handed hitter, 6 feet tall, 210 pounds, from Fairfax, Virginia. And now the count is 3-1. Rangel cannot find the zone. He went to 3 or 4 straight fastballs in a row. Here's the 3-1. And that's in there for a strike. Shante is here. Again, folks, if we're a little bit delayed with our call, it's because the game is not on video. It's audio only today. So the count is now 3-2. Three balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch. Grounded over towards the shortstop. Arun Escobar dropped it. They got the out at second. Escobar did not field it cleanly. And so that could have been a double play. But it was not. So there's 2 outs and runners on at the corners. So the Phillies defense not doing a good job so far. Damn. It's too bad. And now it's Jake Fraley who comes on up, batting on the left side. Williamson at first, Diaz at third. You can make up stuff and keep it exciting. Yeah, but still get caught. 1 ball, 1 strike to Fraley. They just said, but it says on the scoreboard that's a 0-2 count. No balls, 2 strikes. There we go. Misheard it. Runners at the corners. Rangel with the next pitch. And that's going to get away from Marchand, and that's going to bring in a run. So it went over towards the Rays dugout. It's a wild pitch, and the Rays take a 1-0 lead. And the runner from first ended up going all the way to third. because it ended up going into the dugout, so the runner gets to advance to an extra base. John says, we'd never know. Yeah, but if somebody were to cut it and it goes to the right eyeballs, they'll find out that way. So I got to be careful. I've thought about that. So it's 1-0 Tampa Bay, thanks to a wild pitch thrown by Rangel. Next pitch, and that was going to make it a 3-2 count now. Good thing we can't watch. Sounds like an ugly game to watch, says Haley. Yeah. So 2 errors and a wild pitch here in the bottom of the first. So not a good start for Brandon Crawford or Arun Escobar or even Alan Rangel. Otto Kemp also did ground into a double play. The only thing that's happened that's positive is that Crawford hit a single. Here's the 3-2. Another foul ball. It's a 7-pitch at-bat so far to Jake Fraley. He played with the Reds. I don't know why I sound surprised there. That's not really how I meant to sound, but whatever. 3 balls, 2 strikes. A runner at third. And another one that's fouled. So Fraley stays alive. Got a changeup there. So just 4-seamers and changeups thrown by Rangel so far today. Again, if I'm mispronouncing his name, please let me know down below. The count is full. It's 3-2. And the payoff pitch. And there's a ground ball back over to Rangel. And the throw on over to first to Reyes is in time. So the Rays able to get a run. And they make it 1-0 thanks to a wild pitch and an error. Actually, 2 errors. We're going to go to the top of the second. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, so here's Rafael Marchand. He's going to lead it off. And the first pitch takes it for a strike. The ball is 1 strike to Rafael Marchand, batting on the right side, facing the left-handed pitcher, Shane McClanahan. Yeah, and this is big for Marsh because he's facing left-handed pitching too. Opportunities all around. And the pitch grounded over on the ground over to third, and the throw over to first is in time. There's 1 away. A lot of ground ball outs produced by McClanahan. He's a pitch to contact type of a pitcher. Remember, he can definitely, he doesn't throw 98 as much. There's a curveball that's in the zone for strike one to Felix Reyes. Takes it on the inside corner. Again, if you're wondering why I'm a little bit delayed with my play-by-play, it's because the game is only on audio today. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Next pitch was taken for a strike, and now it's a 1-2 count. Cairo is up next. One ball, 2 strikes. Let's go. The pitch. It's low. Taken for a changeup. So it's now 2-2. Angels play the Mariners today at 3:10. Also got Padres and White Sox at 3:05. Dodgers play the Guardians at 3:05. Rays in their other game that they're playing are now up 5-0. Next pitch, and there's a base hit by Felix Reyes. It'll be a single out over towards left field. And that's the second base hit today for the Phillies. Let's go. Christian Cairo is going to come on up next. That's dedication. Yes, sir. Cairo, it's a line drive over to center, but the catch will be made, and there is 1 out. Why is this a little bit delayed? It says that there's 2 outs. Oh, that's right, because Marchand grounded out to third. We're good. We're fine. So now it's Brian Rincon who comes up to the plate. He's had himself a nice spring training so far. Been making a lot of solid contact. The pitch that he takes is low. It's at 93. So the count is 1-0. Next pitch is another foul ball. I'll never forget, Kevin Harlan was... Actually, I don't want to misquote this. Kevin Harlan said something about how he had to call... Yeah, okay. Maybe I shouldn't say it. He had to call a game, and they couldn't see in the broadcast booth, or what was it? I gotta look it up. I can't missay this story. I don't even know why I thought about bringing it up. The bottom line is that there's been announcers that have had to do some odd things throughout their career when it comes to calling games. Some of them have had to use telephones. Crazy stuff. 1-1 pitch. And that was in there for a strike. And it looks like we're going to go to the bottom of the second inning as the next pitch was taken for strike 3. That was a slider. So McClanahan able to go through 2 innings of work. And we're going to go to the bottom of the second, raise up 1-0. I don't know what he was looking at. Again, I gotta see it for myself, but he got caught looking at a pitch. Vlade Feducia and DeLuca are coming on up for the Tampa Bay Rays. I'm sorry, chat. There we go. That's better. So here's the schedule, chat. We got a busy schedule this week, and I will definitely make sure that I post this on the community tab. Again, it's really important that you guys do check out our community posts that we do right on YouTube. Also, make sure that you check out our social media sites too. We're on X, we're on Twitter, which is X, Twitch, TikTok, a lot of T's. But yes, make sure that you go check us out on there. So as far as today goes, Phillies are on against the Tampa Bay Rays. And then tonight, we got Sixers against Spurs. That game is going to be at 8 o'clock. And then tomorrow we got the Phillies in the afternoon at 1:05. The Sixers play a back-to-back. They're on at 7:30. And then we're doing our very first World Baseball Classic game tomorrow night. It'll be Chinese Taipei versus Australia. And then Thursday morning, we got Czechoslovakia playing against Korea at 5 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. And then we got Phillies against the Red Sox. That'll be at 1:05. And then at 10 o'clock, we got Australia versus Czechoslovakia. And that'll be on Thursday. So we got 3 games on Wednesday, 3 games on Thursday. Friday, we're going to do the Puerto Rico versus Colombia game at 6 o'clock. And then we'll do the Chinese Taipei game at 10 o'clock on Friday. All right, so it's 1-0 Tampa Bay. We're in the bottom of the second. It's 2 balls, 1 strike. Probably have to pay attention a little bit more. But I just wanted to let you know that it's going to be very busy, bottom line. 2 balls, 1 strike. Ranel still pitching. Velade in the box. And the next pitch is hit out to shallow right field. Marsh was on the run. Did he catch it? No, it went in and out of the glove, and he's going to go over to second base. Oh, they said that he couldn't get a glove on it. Okay. Thought he said that it went in and out of the glove. So it's a double out over to right field. So that is a double for Brandon Marsh. Are you covering the Tehran Classic? Guaranteed to be a blast. Nope, I'm not doing that. The Tehran Classic. What's that? So that was a double by Velade. Again, couldn't tell how far away Marsh was from the ball, whether or not he could have caught it or not. There's a line drive hit right over to Escobar, though, by Feducia, and there is out number 1. It was a 2-0 count, and Feducia, it sounded like he had a screamer right over to Arun, and there is an out. Oh, it's a car exhibit, the Tehran Classic. Okay, there we go, for the Mercedes-Benz. Got you. Huh. They had a car show. They had a car show in Philly. I didn't go. Did anybody actually go to the car show or to the auto show in Philly? Johnny DeLuca is up to bat. And the first pitch, he fouls, and he's down in the count 0-1. That's the third base runner that the Rays have had today. Just in the Venom I ran. 1 ball, 1 strike now. The 1-1. And it's high. 2 balls, 1 strike now. It was high. Velade over at second. Feducia lined out to second. And DeLuca pops this one up to the first base side. Right in front of the dugout. And that's going to be caught for out number 2 by Felix Reyes. I was watching Alex Rodriguez batting practice videos yesterday, and I also saw a video that he did a couple of, I believe it was 7 years ago, where he interviewed Nolan Arenado, and they went over drills over at third base. And the interesting thing about that, as the first pitch is in there for a strike, and so it's no balls, 1 strike. Is the Tehran Classic an actual thing? According to AI, it says that it can refer to a vintage car exhibit at the Sadabad complex, which is a Mercedes-Benz restoration workshop called the Tehran Classic Center. So it's a center. I misread it. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. I'll get back to this Nolan Arenado thing in a sec. Richie Palacios is in the box. Two balls, 1 strike. All right, what's going on? The windup. And the next pitch is down for ball 3. Palacios batting in the 9 spot. Three balls, 1 strike. And the 3-1. And that's fouled. 41 pitches thrown by Rangel so far. And that'll make the count full. Yeah, anybody ever been to the auto show in Philly? Three balls, 2 strikes. Palacios in the box playing over at third. And that one is a foul ball. He pulled it. The pitch was inside. Came at 92 again. So we've seen 92 to 94 with the 4-seamer from Rangel. Might be trying to make an appearance towards the back end of the bullpen. The next pitch. And that's going to be taken for a ball. So Palacios gets on with a walk. And we're going to have a pitch and change. So that is going to be it for Alan Rangel. His afternoon is done. It's a 1-0 lead for the Tampa Bay Rays. Runners on at first and second. And the Phillies and Rays will be back. Okay. So what I was saying about Nolan Arenado, I was really intrigued with how he was able to explain about how he fields certain plays. And sometimes what we don't necessarily understand, like when you play the game, like obviously there's different types of plays that you have to make. And when I was listening to Alex Rodriguez and Nolan Arenado when they were on the field, this is when Arenado, of course, was a Rocky. But he talked about how he practiced throwing from his knees when he was in high school, like in foul territory, which is just crazy because the arm speed, the accuracy, and just the ability to throw a fastball on over to first base and just change velocities as well just from his knees is just so impressive. And then they talk about plays like where there's a pop-up out over towards shallow left field. How did they practice communicating with the outfielders? You know, baseball's just like one of those sports, especially when you're playing over at third base or just any position in general. There's a lot of nuances. There's a lot of things that you really have to learn. And when you just see the fundamental drills that they practice and just the types of things that they go on over, it really is impressive. There's really an art to it. When do you dive? When do you have to backhand it? You got to make split-second decisions, right? If there's a bunt that's about ready to be placed, how far in do you play? You got to practice barehanding the baseball and throwing its sidearm on over to first base when there's a bunt that's charged over towards the third base side. And what's the situation, right? It's like, it's all so fascinating when you really dissect the game of baseball and how it's played. And Nolan Arenado, what makes him really special is his ability to just be able to adapt and go on over these certain types of plays and just practice these things over and over and over again. That's why he's had a very good career as a third baseman. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Walls is up to bat. And here's a line drive hit out over towards right field. And that's going to drop in for a base. It'll be played on a bounce. And the Rays are going to get another run home. So Palacios heads on over to third base. And Wall's able to get on with an RBI base hit. They said that it was not hit hard. Don't know if it was hit off the end of the bat or if it jammed him. But it's a 2-0 lead for the Tampa Bay Rays. Is this game televised? No. The pitch. That's a foul ball. Was he husband number 5 or 6 for J-Lo? Hey. Keep it clean. That's funny. Runners on at the corners. I can't chat. No balls, 2 strikes. The guy that's pitching now for the Phillies, his name is Jackson Dallas, 27 years old, from Beaumont, Texas. 2-0 Tampa. RBI single by Taylor Walls. And a wild pitch thrown to Williamson. The 0-2 is way outside. Taken for ball 1. The 1-2. It's popped up towards the infield. Escobar calls everyone off and makes the catch for the final out of the inning. So the Rays are up 2-0. We're going to go to the third. We'll be right back in just a few moments. Don't go anywhere. All right, Arun Escobar is coming up. We have another pitcher in for the Tampa Bay Rays, and that is going to be Chase Selesky. Escobar playing over at second. It's a 2-ball, no-strike count, by the way. It's our iPad at 80%. Nice. 2 balls, no strikes. Crawford today did single. Kemp grounded into a double play. Marsh also grounded out to third. That was back in the first. This pitch was fouled back. Marchand grounded out to third. Felix Ramos did single. Christian Cairo lined out to center. And Brian Rincon got out to end the second. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. It's now 3 balls, 1 strike to Arun Escobar. So it's 3 balls, 1 strike to Escobar. Next pitch, grounded over towards the second baseman, and the throw over to first is in time. I don't know how he fell behind, but whatever. And that'll flip the lineup card over. And Crawford is going to come back on up. Oh, Rodriguez is up first. And the first pitch is high and inside. Crawford is in the on-deck circle. Sorry about that. On TV, I got the Toronto versus Canada game on. So that's kind of funny. Next pitch has popped up and out of play. That game, it's a 2-0 game. Dude, I really want to see Crawford get on base today for a second time. It'd be also really cool to see him make like a diving catch or something. 2-2 to Rodriguez. The pitch. It's lined out to center. And the catch is going to be made. Center fielder had to step over towards his left side. And there's 2 outs. It's Johnny DeLuca. So 2 away. And now it's Crawford who comes back on up. Tomorrow the Phillies play against Team Canada. And that'll be at 1:05. Crawford in the box. First pitch was in there for a strike, and the second pitch was fouled out of play. It's 0-2 to Justin. All right, come on. Get on. Let's go. The 0-2. That's a swing and a miss. So, the side is retired. Phillies do go down in order, 1, 2, 3. You got a changeup on the second pitch that was towards the outside corner. And the third pitch, I don't know what it was just yet, but Selesky was able to come on in and get the side retired. 1, 2, 3 go the Phillies. And we're going to go to the bottom of the third. We'll be right back. Lou Trevino is going to come on in for the Phillies now. He will be the third pitcher. Was with the Phillies at the end of last year. Also played with the Dodgers as well. There was a pitch comm issue, according to Greg Murphy, and he was a little late coming out of the bullpen. I was going to say that the one thing that we haven't seen so far a lot during spring training and Phillies games, at the very least, is pitch comm device issues. Trevino is now 34. You'll see cutters, sinkers, and sweepers from him. Played with the Athletics, the Yankees, the Giants, and the Dodgers. I don't know why on Wikipedia it says that he's a free agent, because he's been with the Phillies since last year. It's odd. Unless they're predicting the future or something. Bottom of the third, 2-0 Tampa Bay. Taylor Walls had an RBI base hit. It was a single. And Williamson who was at the plate, ended up taking a wild pitch that would allow Yandy Diaz to score. Now it's Cedric Mullins who comes up. And the pitch, it's hit on the ground, back up the middle for a base hit. And that is the third inning in a row, the third time today where the Rays have gotten on base with a single. Done it in each inning so far. What's up, Brian? How are you? Again, folks, just wanted to let you guys know that the game is not on TV. So, again, there might be a little bit of a delay with my call because I'm trying to listen because the game is audio only today. Mullins singled back up the middle, and he is over at first. Crawford did single in the first for the Phillies, but then he struck out swinging in the third. So he's 1 for 2 today. Marsh grounded out to third, also made an error out in right field. That was all in the first inning. And he's making his 2026 debut today. First pitch was taken for a ball. Next pitch, and that's a foul ball. It's actually a 3-0 count. I was watching the wrong game. There we go. Okay, now it says that he's an American pitcher, professional baseball pitcher in the Phillies organization. I had to update it over on Wikipedia. For some reason, it said that he was a free agent. Weird. The 3-1. Hit over towards the shortstop, and the throw on over to first is in time. That was 5-3, on the put out. So it was hit over to third. And now bring up Ryan Vlade. Chat, I do want to hear. Actually, Jake Fraley is up. I screwed this up. So it's Fraley, then it's Vlade, and then it's Feduccia, and then it's Palacios. I do want to hear your thoughts about something, chat. There are people who are for the World Baseball Classic, but there are also people that aren't necessarily for the Baseball Classic, and they just do not like it. And I didn't know that there was an audience out there that was not for it. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. So my question to you is, if you are for the World Baseball Classic, why are you for it? And if you don't like the Baseball Classic, please tell me why you don't like it. 2-0 Tampa Bay, bottom of the third. A runner on over at second. Audio only today. 1-2. The pitch was fouled right over towards the dugout. I'm confused. Wouldn't that be the World Series? The World Baseball Classic is a totally different thing. So that's what we're covering this week, right? Players get to represent their countries. It's like the Baseball Olympics, essentially. So Bryce Harper's not with the team, not with the Phillies because he's on Team USA. Kyle Schwarber's on Team USA. Aaron Nola's on Team Italy. So there's people that aren't for the World Baseball Classic because they want their guys to be healthy during the regular season and they think that health is a problem. But I'm curious as to why some people are not necessarily for that. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jim says, I think it's cool. Just as a longtime fan of baseball, always good to see good competition. And I agree with that. And some players, they take it really seriously because they're playing for their country. So there's extra motivation there. But yeah. So you see how Team Cuba's playing against the Royals? That's a exhibition game that they're playing in. So they play a little tournament. And that's how we saw Shohei Ohtani strike out Mike Trout in the Olympics. It's their baseball in the Olympics. In 2028, I believe that they're bringing it back. But that's essentially what this is. 3-2, and now the runners are going to be at the corners. Haley says, I love the Classic, but I get why people don't like it. Injuries happen, but could just as easily happen in spring training, says Haley. They could. But I also feel like it gives other players extra opportunities. It's only 2 weeks. One ball, no strikes. Runners at the corners in the bottom of the third. Jim says, I do get the point against it, though. I say play ball. I'm for that, too. But as far as pitchers go, you don't want them to throw their arms out early But I'd say let them pitch. That's my stance on it. But I'm curious if there's other reasons why. Maybe it's just a case-by-case perspective when it comes to health, but is there another reason why you don't like it besides just injuries? The runner from third just scored, by the way. It's now 3-0 Tampa Bay. We'll get you info as to how that happened in just a few seconds. So what, did the catcher misplay that? The 2-1. Crawford's going to make the catch. They just doubled up Fraley at second. Crawford had it all the way, they said. And so we're going to go to the top of the 4th inning. So I guess that was an 8-4 double play. Mullins ended up scoring, by the way, on a fielding error by Rafael Marchand. So that's how it became a 3-0 game. So again, misplays on the defensive side of the diamond. They got to stay focused, man. We're going to go to the top of the 4th. It'd be cool, says John, if there was games year-round. A true international league traveling country to country, says John. Yeah, I think that would be cool. I do too. Getting to see all elite level guys playing all together across 30 teams. And it's cool because you got players that are in the Japanese, that are in the Nippon Baseball League, Korean Baseball organization, the KBO, and other leagues, right? So that's also the really cool thing about it as well. And they can make a statement for themselves, like that's what also I think is a really cool thing about this as well. Imagine if you're a guy that's been playing for Cuba for a while, but you just have not been able to produce, but then you get all these eyeballs on you and you're playing in the World Baseball Classic, and let's just say Cuba makes it to the finals, and this guy's batting 500 in the tournament or whatever. There's a team in the majors that might give you a contract after that, or that might be interested in signing you. So I think that that's also a very cool element about this as well. We saw in the NBA Olympics, in the basketball Olympics a couple of summers ago, that Gershon Yabusele, who then got a contract with the Sixers, made just an incredible block on LeBron James. I forget which country he was on. Does anybody remember what that was, or which country he played for? But the play that he had and just his overall play throughout those Olympics ended up getting him a basketball contract. And now he's still in the league. He was out of the league for a little bit. And that whole Summer Olympics is why he ended up getting an NBA contract. And that's a really cool story. People forget about that, but that is the truth. 1 ball, 1 strike. We're in the top of the 4th. Otto Kemp is up. So we got to listen to this. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kemp is in the box. Otto did ground into a 5-4-3 double play in the first. The 0-2 pitch was a ball. And so now it's 1-2. JJ, what do you think about the Rioan Roa situation? 0-2. Or the 1-2. And that was up high. And away for ball 2. The 2-2, they just said strike 3. And Otto Kemp is down on strikes. Struck out looking at a changeup right at the knees. Come on, man. Really wanted to see Otto do well today. Marsh playing. Remember, he ended up fracturing that kneecap. The 0-1. It's a foul ball. JJ, what do you think about the Yohan Roa situation? I don't know what happened. I don't know what he took. I don't know. So I really don't want to comment on it. I will say, though, as the 0-2, and it was called a strike 3, but I think Marsh is going to challenge this. They said that it was a very good pitch that was thrown to Marsh. The call is overturned, so now it's a 1-2 count. They said that it caught the very corner of the strike zone. Okay, so it's strike 3. So it was not overturned. So there's 2 outs. So 2 away, and now it's Rafael Marchand. I will say this. I think that it's really interesting how Kepler, Alvarado, and now Rojas were taking quote-unquote illegal substances, right? How can nobody on the Phillies know? Don't you think that that's kind of weird? There's policies that are written in baseball about what you can't take. And they're very straightforward about it. So when you don't follow the rules, and clearly that's what was reported, it's so frustrating. It's so annoying. And it just goes to show the lack of discipline the medical staff has when it comes to, I don't want to say lack of discipline, I want to take that back. It goes to show how much they just don't understand what their players are doing. Like, there's a disconnection. And there cannot be that. There can't be that disconnection. And that's what frustrates me about the whole thing with Johan Rojas. Again, I don't know what he took. But if the reports are true, the medical staff has a problem. And that's what aggravates me. Rafael Marchand up at the plate. Two and two. 2 outs. So now it's a full count. It was up high. The 3-2. It's fouled straight back. We had Olympic surfers born and raised in the USA, and they go on to surf for another country. To me, that's a traitor, says John. The 3-2 to Marchand, and it's down and in. So a 2-out walk to Rafael Marchand, and he gets on. And that'll bring Felix Ramos up to the plate. Phillies have used 3 pitchers so far today. Selesky is on the mound for the Tampa Bay Rays. He's gone 1 2/3, just surrendered his first walk. Struck out 3 batters. Oh, man. Come on. Let's go. But yeah, those are my thoughts about the whole Rojas thing. Again, like, I don't want to misspeak. Because I really have to be careful with what I say. But if the reports are true, which it sounds like it is, because obviously he's not playing for his country he's not playing in the World Baseball Classic. How does the medical staff not know? How did they let that stuff slip by? And obviously, how do you not know the rules? The next pitch, it's going to fall down for a base hit for Brandon Marsh. He's going to get on. And Marchand is going to head on over to third base. So that is the second hit of the day for the Phillies. The third hit of the day for the Phillies. And that's going to put runners at the corners. All right, let's go. Come on, man. Brandon Marsh got on. Let's go. What the heck is going on? Reyes just got on with a single. That's what it was. And Marchand ended up going to third. So Reyes just singled. And then now it's Christian Cairo who's up to bat. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel as well. We got runners over at first and third. There's 2 outs. Come on. Get a run here. Cairo's up. Big spot for him here. Counts 0-1. See that Puerto Rico plays Boston tonight at 6:05. That should be cool. Venezuela plays Houston. Next pitch, it's grounded over to short. Walls has it, fires it over to first, and it's in time. and we're going to go to the bottom of the fourth inning. All right, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. It's 3-0 Tampa Bay. Stay tuned. All right, so we are going to the bottom of the fourth inning. Tampa Bay is up 3-0 against the Phillies. Again, tonight we got Sixers and Spurs. The game is, this afternoon's game is just on audio. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel as well. Have not gotten one sub today. If you have not subscribed, what are you guys waiting for? Make sure you guys hit the sub button. I don't even know why I said it like that. I apologize. But if you guys do want to subscribe, it is free. It is free. Bottom of the fourth. 3-0 Tampa Bay. Phillies bats have been pretty silent today. Alan Ranhel did not pitch well for the Phillies. He ended up going 1 2/3, gave up a hit and earned run. Did walk 2 batters, didn't strike out anybody, but this was sort of a chance for him to just try to make a little bit of noise for the back end of that bullpen, and today was not a good showing from him. Let's go to this. Nope. What the heck? We're going to X out of that. No balls, 1 strike. And the audio stopped. Great. All right, now it's back. Oops, did I close out of that? No, I didn't. Okay, good. Let's do this. What the heck is going on? There we go. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Next pitch is taken for a ball. Then Stocker's doing play-by-play, isn't he? It's pretty cool. Shout out to Stock. The pitch. It's a foul ball down the left field line, they said. They called it the gyro pitch. So again, we talked about this before, but Jurickson Profar is facing a full season suspension after testing positive for a performance-enhancing drug for the second time. They got breaking news from Jeff Passan. Now, they don't say that he would miss the playoffs. They don't say that. They say it's a 162-game suspension, so it means at the start of the regular season, correct? There's a blooper that sails out to left field, and the catch is going to be made. And so there is out number 1. Bottom of the fourth. I have to refresh this. That's Fettuccine. So 1 away. Johnny DeLuca comes on up. This is tough, man. This ain't easy. There's a foul ball. It ain't easy to just actually like listen and call it. This is cool for us to work on. And I got the Toronto versus Canada game up. Toronto's up 7-0. Wish like I could be talking more, but I'm like trying to openly listen as I talk, which is also a good skill too to work on, especially when you're doing a game on TV. It's very important to be able to learn that type of a skill. They just fouled it off, so it's now no balls, 2 strikes. A cutter that was thrown by Zach McCambley, and then a sweeper. So the count is 0-2. The 0-2. And it's up high and inside for a ball. Cambley, 26 years old. Will be 27 on May 4th. From Netcong, New Jersey. 6 feet 2 inches tall. So now it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yep, it paused. It paused. Great. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch is lined out over to Otto Kemp. And that'll be out number 2. Nice play. Let's go. So it's Richie Palacios who comes up. We're in the 9th spot for the Tampa Bay Rays. They have a 3-0 lead. McClanahan did go 2 innings for the Rays, in case you're wondering. 2 hits allowed, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. We got the lineups up, and we got the pitchers up as well for both teams. The pitch, and that's for a strike. Palacios, now 28 years old, left-handed hitter drafted by the Guardians. (3-0) Tampa Bay. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Went to Berkeley Carroll School in New York and played college baseball at Towson University. And so here's the pitch. And Rafael Marchand is going to challenge this. They said that it was a ball. Marchand thinks it's a strike. And so it is a strike, and that is going to end the inning. So we're going to go to the top of the 5th. Phillies down 3-0. We'll be right back once again. We're in the top of the fifth, 3-0 Tampa Bay. 2 errors and a wild pitch in this game. That all actually came in the first inning. 3-0 Tampa. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Baker is pitching for the Rays. Rincon is up to bat. 7, 8, and 9 due up in the Phillies batting order. Next pitch, it's a splitter. It's taken for a strike. It's 2:21 p.m. Eastern Time. I want to see Gabriel Rinconis, man. There have been no updates on Gabriel Rinconis, and I can't understand why. That's kind of frustrating to me because this guy had a great spring training last year, ended up going up to AAA by the end of the season. And this is a guy who, again, with the outfielders that the Phillies have, I'd like to see him in the mix. But he's still dealing with that knee soreness. There's a ground ball. Hit right back over towards the pitcher. And the throw over to first will get the first out of the inning. And any news about Aiden Miller? I haven't heard any. Another guy I wanted to see. Miller is having this lower back issue that flared up. That actually ended up causing him to miss the end of the 2025 season with the Arizona Fall League. So they're being very cautious with him in spring training so far. There's a ground rule double hit by the Phillies in the top of the fifth. It's Arun Escobar. The ball ended up going over towards the corner, and then it bounced into the stands, and the Phillies have their first extra base hit this afternoon. Dude, this is crazy. You guys are listening to a spring training game, and I can't even see the game myself. So you're just listening to me just call it with audio. And I'm taking more pauses just because of that. So that really is W status for you guys. Really. That's awesome. You guys are sickos. So a ground rule double for Arun Escobar. And Rodriguez comes back up for the second time today. He ended up lining out to center. There's a ground ball up the middle. That's going to sneak through for a base hit. And Arun Escobar is going to be waved home. And the Phillies are down by 2. An RBI single by Rodriguez. Let's go. Jose Rodriguez with his first RBI of 2026. We'll take it. Let's go. All right, here we go. Top of the order again. Justin Crawford is up. Crawford squares the bunt. Ooh. Let's see. It's 1 ball, no strikes to Justin. I want to see if he can get on here. I wish I could see him bunt. Gosh. I got to practice this now. The count's going to run 2-0 now. Okay. So, again, the Phillies just got a run scored, which is nice. There we go. Don't know why I couldn't see chat, but now I see you guys. The 2-0 swing and a miss. So we didn't show bunt there. Why? Sickos, haha, I like that. I can't take credit for that, though, because 2 balls, 1 strike. All right, come on. Come on, Justin. That's a foul ball, and now the count's 2-2. I can't say that though because there's a Sixers content creator on here that has that uses that. He calls his chat Sicko Nation. Everybody that's like a diehard Sixers fan. But you guys are sickos. I just can't say Sicko Nation because my guy DJ uses that. A sliding catch was just made. Wait. So out number 2 was just made. Fraley made a sliding catch. The center fielder lost it in the sun. And so Fraley was able to slide in there and make the grab. There's out number 2. It looked like it sounded like it had a chance to drop on down. But Fraley made an excellent play. Dang it. The 0-1 ripped high to center field. And there's going to be plenty of room made by the center fielder, and the catch will be made. Phillies do get a run, though. We're going to go to the bottom of the 5th inning. And so it's a 3-1 ball game so far. All right, let's figure out what's going on with this. I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, we're in the bottom of the 5th, by the way. Can't figure out what the heck was going on. There we go. That's better. All right, had to fix our chat. Now we can see it. Bottom of the 5th, 3-1 Tampa Bay. Ugh. Y'all are crazy. But I love you guys, man. It's a little bit hard to follow. Pitch to Diaz. It's a weak ground ball over to second. And the throw is in time. And there's the first out. Seth Johnson now pitching for the Phillies. The 3-hitter Mullins is now on up. Wrong one. That's better. Johnson has gotten 2 away. So 2 up, 2 down. One ball, no strikes. Fell behind again. Dang, that's crazy. All right, we're going to go to the top of the 6th. That was a quick inning for Seth Johnson. Didn't even really follow what happened along there. Johnson got Diaz to ground out, and he also got Walls to fly out to center. He only threw a total of 4 pitches. 5 pitches. 5 pitches, and he gets 3 outs just like that. Are you kidding me? That's wild. That's insane. But, yeah. All right. It's 2:32 p.m. Eastern Time. ESPN.com. Do this again. Any of you guys follow March Madness? Are you guys March Madness fans? Because I was thinking about doing a stream and collaborating with somebody to go over, once the brackets are out, do like a bracket fill out with somebody and break down every one of our picks. Doing like a little round table. You know, that type of a thing. Figured that would be interesting content. You know, I feel like that would be really cool. Other scores around Major League Baseball. Tampa Bay Rays up 3-1 against the Phillies. Rays also are up 5-3 against the Twins. And that game is in the top of the 5th. 3 o'clock, we got the Angels taking on Seattle as well. Padres also playing against the White Sox. Whoops, that's not what we wanted. Not what we wanted at all whatsoever. All right. Toronto is up 7-0 against Canada. Pittsburgh is playing against Colombia. They're up 5-0. That game is in the bottom of the 5th. The Netherlands are beating Baltimore 8-2. That game is in the top of the 5th inning. Sulcer is pitching for the Tampa Bay Rays, and he's facing Marsh here. So Sulcer, this is Cole Sulcer, not to be confused with Chase Selesky, who pitched earlier for the Rays. Panama is also losing 5-0 to the New York Yankees. That game is in the top of the 5th. Tigers play against the Dominican Republic tonight. That game will actually be on MLB Network at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. One and 2 is the count. Again, if you are just tuning on in for the first time today, we do not have the game on, so we're just calling this based off of audio. One ball, 2 strikes to Brandon Marsh. 0 for 2 this afternoon. Grounded out to third, and he struck out looking. The 1-2. And it's taken for ball 2. Walls had himself an RBI base hit. He's batting .400. Marsh is going to get on, though, with a base hit out over to right field. So the leadoff man gets aboard. Brandon Marsh able to get on base, and that is good news for the Phillies. And a boy, Marsh. What did they say that the pitch was? Was it a changeup? Rafael Marchand is now coming on up to the plate. It was a changeup. Marchand gets a good grip of the baseball, but it's going to be foul. It's 86 degrees out in Port Charlotte, Florida. Rays play at Charlotte Sports Park as their spring training facility. The pitch. And that's inside for a ball. So it's now 1 ball, 1 strike. What time is it? 2:36 p.m. Eastern time. The pitch, and it's in the dirt to Rafael Marchand, who, by the way, today is 0 for 1. Did get on with a walk. All right, come on. Let's go. Get on. The 2-1 is high. And taken for ball 3. Phillies have a 3-6-1 record in spring training so far. The Rays are 3-7. The 3-1. That's lifted over the third baseman's head. But getting back onto the grass to make the catch for the out. And there's an out. Darn it. It was over the third baseman's head, but it was probably popped up, I assume. And the shortstop made the catch. And there's out number 1. So a pop out over to short. It's Phillies Rays, who's getting his third opportunity today. He's had a pair of base hits. That's been good news for him. 2 balls, no strikes to Phillies Rays. The next pitch was swung on and missed. And so that is now a 2-1 count. Cole Sulser is 35 years old. Originally played for the Orioles. Then he went to the Marlins, the Diamondbacks, and the Mets. Made his debut with the Rays. Is now back with Tampa Bay. The pitch. Hit off the ground, foul. So Felix Reyes, again, in the box for the Phillies. And again, you guys can't hear what's going on in the background, correct? Just want to make sure. Felix Reyes in the box for Philadelphia. 3 balls, 1 strike to Reyes. Marsh is going to go. And the next pitch is foul back. It's 3-2. Marsh leads off, and the throwback is not in time. It's better. Yeah, we talked about that. Wednesday. Wednesday is when we're going to do the openings. Every Wednesday in the 5th inning. Every Wednesday in the 5th inning. But good. It'll arrive Monday. That's great. Sweet. Thank you so much, my friend. Reyes just got on again. And that is his 3rd hit of the afternoon, they said. But now there's 2 outs because Cairo just popped out. Come on, let's not leave any runners on, dude. Cairo's 0 for 2. Said the Rays got on for his third time today. But he popped out the second. Dang, I gotta listen better. 1 ball, 1 strike. This is really good for me. I really like being able to do this. It's frustrating, but it's like a very good skill to learn. Next pitch, here it comes. And it's 0-2. To be fair, this also is interesting, too, because it also goes to just show that you have to, the better the radio play-by-play announcer is at describing the action, the more easier it is for me to describe it, which is interesting as well. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Check swing, and he went around. And so the inning is done. And we're going to go to the bottom of the 6th inning. So the Tampa Bay Rays still lead at 3-1 against the Philadelphia Phillies. Darn it. Too bad. Ay, ay, ay. JJ, promise us you use Mike Sports Ballin' if you ever need a substitute. I'm going to try to give as many people opportunities as possible, man. Like, that's just how I run things, you know? If somebody wants to sub for me and I want to give other people voices, like, that's just what I do. You know, that's literally how I run things. So I expect you guys to just, you know, if you guys don't want to tune on in, like, that's fine. I can't stop you guys, but I really want to give other people chances. So, you know, whoever I try to get on, whoever gets the opportunity gets it. I can tell you for free that, you know, a lot of thought goes on into making these types of decisions, and I do it because I care. I do it because I want to give people chances, you know. Mike's definitely going to get his chances for sure. But I want to give other people shots too. I don't just like to give it to one person. I want other people to grow their brands. I want other people to grow their channels. And I want Mike to succeed for sure. Don't ever get that twisted. Of course I do. But, you know, I gotta be fair. Because that's the type of person that I am. But I love my guy, Mike. Shout out to him. We're in the bottom of the 6th. 3-1 Tampa Bay. Seth Johnson's going to go out there for another inning of work, they just said. See how he does. Phillies pitching today. They've allowed 3 runs. One pitch popped up out over the shallow left, over towards the line, and the catch is made. And there's out number 1. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's get 100 wins this year. I agree. I want us to get those W's. You know? The pitch. There's a swing and a miss. Oh, and 1 is the count. Now it's an 0-2 count. They just fouled it right behind the screen. So it's an 0-2 count now. Let's go. Next pitch is a little bit low. That's taken for a ball. Next pitch is popped and fouled. And that'll find the seats. Time is at 2:46. Anything that you guys are looking forward to during this Philly season that we haven't necessarily discussed? Yeah, and feel free to chat down below. Ask me questions. It's another foul ball. Got to get those 100 wins, though. I agree. Next pitch is swung on and missed, and there's a strikeout. Is that the first strikeout that the Phillies have had today? Don't tell me that's their first strikeout. That's their second strikeout. I was like, dang. It's like, dang. That's crazy. All right. We're going to go to the top of the 7th inning. Gillen just struck out. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Two outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Vlade is up. There was a pitching change that was just made. And Nolan Hoffman, is on the pitch. So the count is 0-1. Hoffman was a 5th-round draft pick for the Seattle Mariners. What were we at? 59% over on the iPad? Yeah. I could have sworn that this game said that that they said that this game was going to be on TV today. But I guess not. Maybe they got it wrong. I checked Phillies Nation. There's a base hit allowed by Hoffman, and so that's going to be a single. And the chat ain't working. Mike had high energy and enthusiasm. Yeah, no, he's great. That's my guy. Big shout out to Mike. Love Mike. He's really good. He's really, really good. But, you know, he's going to get his chances this year. Don't you worry. Just want to give other people chances, too. I want other people to, like, grow their brand, you know? I want, like, when I mean that I want everyone to succeed on YouTube that does what I do, I, like, legitimately mean that. I really do. I definitely, I mean, like, there's there's people that I do associate with myself on here, you know. But if I give somebody an opportunity, it's because I trust them, and it's because, you know, I think that they're talented and I think that they deserve a shot. None of this stuff, nobody takes this headset unless I trust them, you know. But I'm not just in this for me. I want certain people on here to win too. I do. 2 runners on in the bottom of the 6th. I just realized that I started shaking my foot a little bit. And it sort of vibrates the camera. Does it vibrate the camera? I thought it did. Yeah, it does. Huh. Good to know. Connor Hysak is now going to come on up. Hujsak. That's how you spell Hysak. Connor Hysak. Swing and a miss, and there was a throw made back over to first by Marchand, and it was not in time. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe, baby. What happened to our performance enhanced pitcher that got suspended last year? Jose Alvarado, he pitched a couple of days ago. He did pretty good. Was firing 100. That was the game that Andrew Painter pitched. That was the last game that we called. That was on Sunday. But yeah, he's a power lefty. It's good. Next pitch, swing and a miss. He got him. And that is the final out of the 6th. And we're going to go to the top of the 7th. Extreme elements like Nightbot, says DJ Gene. It is. It is. Same thing with Botrix. It's the same exact thing. What's up, DJ? How you doing? Where'd he go, for a beer run? No. I took a little break off the air because I needed a sip of water. And there were a couple of lineup changes. I don't always like dead air. I don't know why. I think that sometimes, like, you know what it is? I'm going to be honest with you, chat. I see people take pauses on here, and I do take pauses, but sometimes I feel like my pauses are way too long, and that's because when you come from a radio background, you're taught that dead air is bad. You got to keep talking when you're in radio. And sometimes I feel like if it's dead air for like 2 seconds, it feels like it's 7 seconds. And sometimes I do have dead air for like 9 seconds, and I don't like that. But on here, it's fine. You know, it's just a technical thing. Fire questions, though, at me. Keep me talking. Even the Rob and Dumbo are on the hot seat this season if the Phillies don't do well. Define don't do well. Meaning that they miss the playoffs, they're gone. If they don't make it out of the first round, Dombrowski is gone. Rob Thompson, I think, gets another crack at it. But I would think that Dave is not going to be back. You also have to understand, too, that there might be a lockout next year. So that certainly plays a factor into these decisions, too. You know? But if they don't make the playoffs, goodbye to Dave. And I would probably say goodbye to Rob. I would think that that's what John Middleton would say. Appreciate you for being on here, though, Falco. Next pitch is fouled and out of play. I think the real question is if the Phillies don't go to the playoffs this year? Is Kevin Long gone? Because I think the answer to that is yes. I do. I don't think Kevin Long comes back. It's now 2 balls, 2 strikes. The next pitch was fouled into the Rays dugout. Top of the 7th inning. It's Brian Rincon up to bat, facing Kevin Kelly. And there's a called third strike taken, and Rincon is down looking on strikes. And Arun Escobar is going to be coming on up next. Surprised that he's left the starters out there, except for Brandon Marsh. They got Dylan Campbell out in right field for Brandon instead. Next pitch was grounded over towards second base, and the throw over to first is in time, and there's out number 2. 4-3 put out. Escobar grounds out. The Phillies only have 5 or 6 hits today. Rodriguez drove in the Phillies' lone run. He's 1 for 2. In the top of the 7th inning, Phillies have 2 outs, nobody on. 3-1 Tampa Bay. The pitch was fouled straight down. And so it's 1 ball, 1 strike. I'm going to have to make sure that I look at the schedule again the next time. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's the count. The next pitch is taken for ball 2. Crawford is going to get another at-bat, it seems. I mean, if Rodriguez can get on here. Rodriguez swings at this one and hits it out to left field, and that'll get down for a base hit. And Jose Rodriguez gets on for the second time today. It's a 2-out single. And it's Justin Crawford coming up to bat. Singled back in the first, and then he struck out in the third. Also got himself out in the 5th inning by flying out to right. Don't forget to like and subscribe, folks. First pitch was for a strike. Come on, Justin. The 0-1. It was hit on the ground over to second, and the throw on over to first is in time. It sounded like that thing had a chance to go up the middle, but Crawford not able to get on, and the inning is done. And we're going to go to the bottom of the 7th, 3-1, Tampa Bay. Darn it. I really wanted them to come through there. Really wanted them to get on. Are you kidding me? If he was robbed on a hit, that's one thing, but I just wanted him to get that result. I really did. Dumbo isn't on the hot seat at all. Rob is, though, says Bam Man. I do think, though, that if they... Actually, I take back my statement. If the Phillies don't make the playoffs this year, David Dombrowski is gone, but Rob Thompson doesn't come back either. Because, again, John Middleton still, at the very least, John Middleton expects them to make it to the playoffs. So you're telling me if they don't make it, he's going to be happy about that? I don't think so. I really don't think so. So I would be shocked if Dave Dombrowski is back for the 2028 season, or if there's a season next year. I would be. And I'd be shocked if Rob comes back too. So I don't think he'd be happy with it. I don't think he'd be happy. Clean house, says Falco. It's tough, though. To me, let me know if I'm being fair or not, chat. Let me know if I'm being fair or not. But if they don't make it to the World Series and they lose to the Dodgers, is it a failure of a season? We're just saying if they don't make it to the World Series and if they lose to the Dodgers, is it a failure of a season? Or let's just say that the Dodgers get eliminated after they beat the Phillies. Is that a failure of a season? Do the Dodgers have to win the World Series? If you believe that if the Phillies lose to the Dodgers, if their only chance to have like a successful season is to make it to the World Series, but they lose to the Dodgers, if the Dodgers don't win the World Series, is that still a failure? Is it still a failure for the Phillies? I would say no. Or I would still say yes, actually. The Phillies have to get back to the World Series. The way that I look at it is, again, they put these expectations on everybody as the pitch is grounded over to second and the throw over to first is in time. I think that they have to make it back to the dance. I really do. They have to get back to the World Series. They put these expectations on themselves. They thought that, you know what, we're going to stay put because we believe in this team. We think that we're a World Series bound type of a team. And that's where the expectation has to be. They set this bar. If they have a gut feeling that Justin Crawford and Andrew Painter and Aidan Miller are going to be really good, unfortunately, we got to add that into the equation. We have to set the bar. And this is what the organization is telling us. This is what the organization truly does believe, so we have to hold them to that high standard. They may have gotten worse. I wish that they would have brought back Harrison Bader. 2-1, take him down for ball 3, but they didn't do that. So, where are your expectations? Or do you not know? It's okay if you don't know. It's okay if you say to yourself, I really can't assess until I see what happens or who makes the roster by opening day. So, I think that that's fair too. I do. Next pitch, and Barrios ends up getting on base against Hoffman, and so he's over at first. At this point, let's just make it more into a watch party type of a thing, you know? Middleton wants his trophy back, says Falco. Yeah, he's not settling for complacency this year. If they don't make it to the playoffs, if they lose to the Dodgers, I think that that's one thing. If they don't make it to the playoffs, that's another thing. But then my other question is, and this is another hypothetical, so let's just say that they do play against like the New York Mets and they lose to the Mets in the first round, or they lose to somebody else rather than the Dodgers. Is that also an unsuccessful year? It's crazy. There's a lot of hypotheticals, there's a lot of analytics, and I think that that's not really such an easy, straightforward yes or no question, but again, in my opinion, and this is the way that I look at it, they have to go to the World Series. They have to go to the World Series in order for it to be a success. Even if Phillies Dodgers is the World Series. The quote-unquote World Series. Runner on over at second. 1 ball, no strikes. We're in the bottom of the 7th. There's 2 outs. Rays are up 3-1 against the Phillies. But yeah, how do you feel about that? Do you think I'm being too critical? Do you think that I'm being a little bit too naive in a sense? Because things happen in an up and down season. What if Bryce Harper has a very good NLDS? The Phillies do lose. Kyle Schwarber has a very good NLDS. Like, is it a successful season if it goes to 5 games and the Phillies just lose the 5th game on a very bad bounce? I still say no. So much that goes on into it. All right, it's time to go to the 8th inning. Tampa Bay Rays not able to get anybody home. And the Phillies are coming back on up. 3-1. Tampa Bay is the score. Again, my name is Jason Joseph, and this is Play-by-Play with JJ. Don't forget to like and don't forget to subscribe. At this point, we're just yapping because there's really not much else to talk about as far as this game goes play-by-play wise. Can't even see the game, but I think that now's the perfect opportunity to ask these types of questions. Here's something else that I wanted to throw out there. Okay. Do you think the Phillies are a better defensive team this year compared to last year? Because I think yes. Just imagine, okay? You have Adolis Garcia out in right field. He's a lot better of a defensive player than Nick Castellanos was. It's the truth. He has more speed. He has even a better arm. And Castillo actually had a very good arm. I will give him that, but Garcia plays a very good right field. Justin Crawford, if he's going to be your everyday center fielder, that guy's defense looks very, very good. He covers a lot of ground out there. He has a good arm. And he's able to provide a lot of speed or a lot of speed in the outfield. So I think that he'll be really good defensively in center field. Martian left, I think that that's fine. Harper at first base, very good defensive player. Stott at second is very good. Turner at short, if he was average like he was last year, I think that that's fine. And Bohm at third, the left side of the infield certainly does have question marks, but Bohm was a terrible defensive player. He was a liability, and now he's serviceable over at third. So I think defensively they're a better team. I do. Top of the 8th inning, Phillies down 3-1. And we have another batter coming on up. Looks like it'll be Keaton Anthony who is in the batter's box. But let me know. Let me know how you guys feel about the Philadelphia Phillies defense. Where do you stand on that? I guess I gotta charge this keyboard. Huh. 2 balls, 1 strike. Top of the 8th inning. Game is almost done anyway, so. Batman says, my perspective on the World Series is not team, other than maybe the Dodgers can ever expect to make it. It's a very random championship. My definition of success is play good postseason baseball and provide a deep run. Yeah, but what if they play the Dodgers in the first round? If they play the Dodgers in the wild card series, or even if it is, the first round meaning the NLDS, and they lose to the Dodgers, is that a successful season? Because, again, you didn't make it out of the NLDS. And you want to go deep in the playoffs, but the Dodgers were right there. Tough matchup, but still didn't get past the first round. It's interesting. Your friend, Jax. What's going on? I just joined from my bus ride home. Got you, man. Phillies are down 3-1 to the Tampa Bay Rays. Got a runner on over at first. 1 ball, no strikes. Diaz just made a terrific catch. And that is going to result in out number 1. Did he just dive for it? Is that what they just said on the radio? I think he did. I think he made a diving catch. Rene Pinto is now up. Carson DeMartini did get on with a walk for the Phillies, and that's how we started off the 8th inning. Keaton Anthony's on deck. Reyes today did go 2 for 3. Crawford went 1 for 4. The problem with the past 2 seasons is that they haven't played well in the postseason. That's on the players, and to some degree, Rob, regardless of what Dombrowski has done. I disagree. I think it's on everybody. Everybody needs accountability. The 0-1, and that's outside for a ball. Because the fact that they've had this platoon outfield for so long with Rojas and Marsh, yes. Is it on Brandon Marsh to try to get better hitting left-handed pitching? Yes. Rojas not playing well. Does he have to be better? Yes. But the organization is supposed to make adjustments. They're supposed to find ways to get crafty and make deals. Now, did they get Duran? Yes, they did. They did get Duran, and they definitely worked on the closer role. That's big. But they still had holes, and they didn't attack those holes. And that's where I fault Dave Dombrowski. That's where I fault Preston Mattingly and the front office, because they've had these glaring holes, and they couldn't fix them. They also did not bring back Harrison Bader. They did not get Bo Bichette. I don't care how close they were to getting Bo Bichette. They didn't get him. They didn't get their guy. They didn't bring back Ranger either. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and the next pitch is taken for a ball. So now it's ball 3. There were no shakes to the lineup. The offense did not produce well last year. Even against the Dodgers in the playoffs, you saw really bad decisions by Rob. Why would you put David Robertson on in a very tough situation? A 40-year-old David Robertson comes on in with bases loaded. He got out of the inning, but you are playing with fire. Going to go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's 3-1, and the Tampa Bay Rays are coming up to bat. Also, I said this, and I say this now in hindsight, I thought that it was fine that they bunted Bryson Stott, but when I really took the whole offseason to think about it, that's the craziest thing when you really do think about just the decision of having Bryson Stott bunt. And again, I understand that hindsight's 2020, but when you really think about it in real time, you're taking the bat out of his hands, and Nick Castellanos is the guy that's on base. He's so slow. They executed that wheel play. They did a very good job at it. But why would you bunt in that situation if Nick Castellanos is over at second? Because he's not fast at all, and you're sacrificing an out. You got on with some timely base hits, and you set it all up, and you shot yourself in the foot by providing that bunt. And how we use the bullpen too. Didn't do the best job. Put in Ranger Suarez to start game 2. I would have had Ranger start game 1. That's just me, though. Bottom of the 8th. Rays are up to bat. Again, if you are new to the channel, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. And turn on the bell icons, too. Defensively, I'd be surprised if the Phillies aren't significantly better. Yeah, I agree with that. Bohm is slightly above average. Yep. But I do have a feeling that the defense is going to look a lot better for the Phillies this year, and that should be helpful for the pitching staff, so that's good. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Piper is up to bat. Taylor, that is, that's actually up to bat. Had to refresh it. Who's the best new addition? I guess you got to go with Adolis Garcia. If you want to go to addition to the team. Who do I think is going to be a standout player this year? I do have a feeling that Justin Crawford's going to make a lot of noise. Andrew Painter I think he'll start off the season strong. I'm more curious to see how he does when teams figure him out. And as the season goes on, when he's throwing more pitches, are there any setbacks? I don't know. That's something that I have a question mark about that. We haven't seen enough of Andrew Painter. Gave us 2 nice innings on Sunday. That's cool. How does he progress during the rest of spring training? There's a lot of questions, for sure. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Rays are up to bat. And again, for those of you that are wondering why I'm not doing as much play-by-play, or if I'm a little bit behind on the play-by-play, it's because, again, it's an audio-only game. So I'm trying to listen for the most part, except over the last couple of minutes. We sort of turned it a little bit more into a watch party type of a style of a cast. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes, and a foul ball hit by Taylor. The guy that's pitching for the Phillies, his name is Andrew Walling. He's 26 years old from Longview, Washington. The 0-2. The 1-2, and outside in the way for ball 2. Am I going to stream USA Baseball? I am going to stream the World Baseball Classic. That's for sure. Chinese Taipei. We got that game on tomorrow night. We'll be doing some USA Baseball. I'm trying to do more of the nitty-gritty ones, like the 5 a.m. ones, like the 12 a.m. games, because those are when people go to bed, as far as streamers go. I don't know what everybody's streaming schedule is, but I'm trying to do more of those types of games. I'm sure that we're definitely going to do at least a couple of USA Baseball games. But yeah. All right, 3-1, Tampa Bay. Bottom of the 8th, 1 out. Taylor did strike out swinging. That's good. I'm back. I had to go to the dentist. I hope it was all well. The bunt was a good call. Stott had not been hitting well in the postseason, and he's a good bunter. If anything, he doesn't do it enough. Yeah, but in that situation, though, because Nick Castellanos is over at second base, he is so slow. I mean, I would never have bunted. I again, looking back on it, I did say in the moment I was fine with the bunt, but I was stupid. I was stupid. You don't bunt in that situation. With Nick Castellanos over at second base, he's so slow. What do you think is going to happen? You're going to get an automatic out over at third base anyways. And they don't practice bunting. That's the other thing, too, that also kind of makes me a little bit annoyed. Because if the Phillies made so many small mistakes, okay? Trey Turner with that throw to home plate, that has to go to the left side of JT. It went over towards the right side. These little plays that they just could not come up with, those plays added up. The decision to walk Ohtani, I thought was fine. And then they decided to pitch to Betts, and Betts did get the sacrifice hit. But there were, again, times where I'm watching the Philadelphia Phillies in that postseason last year, and I don't like to relive this. But the truth is that the Dodgers made the small plays. They executed when they had to. And the Phillies were given a lot of opportunities, and they just could not make those little plays. And some of those little plays, they added up, and they were just dumb decisions. Okay, Orion Kerkering. I hate to bring it up, but the truth is, he made a mental mistake there, and I just feel like if there was more discipline from the manager and from other people that are in the clubhouse, the Dodgers and other teams don't make those little mental mistakes that the Phillies did. And that's what bothers me about the whole entire series. So, bottom of the 8th and a runner on over at first. No cavities. That's a W. That deserves a bell ring. Bowman's starting to only get one-year contracts. Does that mean that his time with the Phillies is almost over? Another good question. It's a great question. Let's say best case scenario. Alec Bohm drives and runs. Becomes a trading target again. Increases his trade value. Do you trade him? That's going to be a tough decision too. What if the guy's batting over 300 and he's hitting 280 with runners in scoring position and he's doing what he did in the first half of 2024? Do you trade him? I don't know. That's a very tough question. You want him to increase his trade stock, but the problem is that as he does that, if he does increase his trade value and he's driving in runs and he becomes a pivotal player protecting Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber, are you going to want to get rid of him? I don't know. That's a tough question. I guess it all depends on who's available. You know? 2 away in the bottom of the 8th inning. There's a runner on over at first. Diaz struck out. It's now no balls and 2 strikes. Keegan is in the box. No balls, 2 strikes. 2 away. Theo Gillen is over at first. Dominic Keegan at the plate. Damn. Did you hear that Kirkering is working on a splitter? It'll be nice to see him get. It'll be nice to get him some more diversity with his pitches. This is why I want them to work on this stuff in spring training. I want to see this in a game. You know? He needs to add another pitch. We're going to go to the 9th inning. They just got the final out of the 8th. And so it'll be last chance for the Phillies as they come on up to bat in the 9th. He's my favorite player, so that's why I'm wondering. Al Bohm's your favorite player? Interesting. You're a Bowman. You're a Bowman. I am not a Bowman. A Bohemian, as I like to call it. Nobody else says it, but I am not a Bohemian. No. But hey, if he's driving and runs, if he's making plays, then I'm all for it. I love it when players shut me up and when players prove me wrong, whether it's in basketball, whether it's in football, even in hockey. I do. You know, it's such a great feeling. It really is. I've been proven wrong about players. I'll tell you one player I was wrong about. Not a Phillies player. I was 1,000% wrong about, who was it? It wasn't Aaron Judge. I just had this convo the other day. It wasn't Aaron Judge. I was wrong about, it wasn't Shohei. Was it Tatis? Yeah, it was Tatis. I've been wrong about Fernando Tatis Jr. I was also wrong about Manny Machado, too. I remember when I was first watching him, I thought that was going to be a guy who just never lived up to the hype. Manny Machado I've been wrong about. Tatis I've been wrong about. I've also been wrong about William Contreras too. Yeah. I was wrong about him. Top of the 9th inning. 3-1 Tampa Bay. All right. Come on. Let's get some runs. Let's go. What would you trade him for, in your opinion? Well, what are the Phillies going to need at the time? Do they need another starting pitcher because Zach Wheeler's hurt? Are they gonna? Is Andrew Painter not panning out? Like, that's tough. If we're just basing it off at the beginning of the season, that's one thing. But once we get closer to the trade deadline, we might need a back of the bullpen type of a guy. We might need a starting pitcher because we have a 4-man rotation because Aaron Nola got hurt. God forbid. So, 1 ball, 1 strike. We're in the top of the 9th. But if you were to ask me, though, like, who would I want for Bohm, like, right now? If the trade was right now, who would I take for Alec Bohm? I would take Tarek Skubal. If they could find a way to get him, it's going to take a lot. You're going to have to throw Painter in the deal. I would do it. I would do it. You're going to have to probably throw Stott in, too. Give up some players. Call up Aiden Miller. But if there was a target and Bohm has to be a part of a package, I would try to package him up for a deal for Tarek Skubal. Even if we get half of a year of Tarek, I would do it. The leadoff man got aboard. Let's go. I want to see what Aiden Miller has. Yeah, I'm curious about that too. I'm very curious about that. Pedro Leon is up. Came on in the pinch hit for Crawford. The pitch, swing and a miss. But yeah, Skubal would be my number 1 guy. No balls, 2 strikes to Pedro Leon. How about you, though? Who would you trade Bohm for right now? All right, no balls, 2 strikes. Come on, let's try to tie this game. Let's do it. Folks, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. It is free, baby. Ring that bell. You guys can also become members. It's $2.99 a month during the Phillies regular season. We're going to have our emotes up, and I better see all my emotes from my chats. Better see those. No balls, 2 strikes. Pitch, it's grounded on over towards second. Throw over to short is 1. And there's a double play. Tomorrow's game is going to be telecasted, so that's good. Let's go. All right, come on.
He's prepping. He's prepping. Ricketts takes his lead off first.
Ricketts leads off. The 0-2 to Brito. Fouled and out of play. Okay. What about Rafael Marchand? What do you think about Marchand? Does he get more playing time this year? I think he will. The ball's 2 strikes, by the way. The pitch. Another foul ball. You think we're going to see Stubbs this season? I don't know how many options Garrett Stubbs has left, but I do think at some point he will. But then the question becomes, I think he only has like 1 option left, so you got to be careful with that. If there's an injury, he's probably going to get called up, so I would say yes. All right, the pitch was grounded back over towards the pitcher, and the throw over to first was in time, and so the ball game is over. And the Tampa Bay Rays are able to get themselves a 3-1 win against the Philadelphia Phillies. So that is going to wrap it up. Phillies do lose to the Tampa Bay Rays by a score of 3-1. So the game is done. Look, okay. Obviously, couldn't get to see anything today. But just to go over things that I heard from today that I thought sounded nice. Crawford continues to do well. Saw him get on with a single. It was good to see him out there, or good to listen to him being out there on the diamond. I was a little disappointed that they didn't bunt with a 2-0 count. Crawford came on up in the third inning, or was it the fourth inning? It was the fifth inning. After Jose Rodriguez got the RBI single, I was thinking, here's a golden opportunity for Justin Crawford to bunt here, and he showed bunt on the first 2 pitches, but then he took it back and then decided that he was going to swing. Now, I understand that the infield is shifted and they're prepared for him to bunt, but I still want him to be able to get those types of things down, because there's moments where guys will still pop up bunts, and I feel like that these are exhibition games, right? I want him to practice getting those bunts down. I don't care what the result is. If he's out over at first base, I want to see him hustle down the line. I still want to see him draw those bunts. And that's the type of thing that kind of ticks me off about Robin, the coaching staff, is that we only saw Johan Rojas. We wanted him to work on bunting last year, and he only did it one time in spring training. Like, this is what spring training to me is all about. If you're going to try new things, if you're going to implement new things to your game, now's the time to try it. Who cares if you make an error? Now, Brandon Marsh had a bad fielding error out in right field, and hopefully he'll get that cleaned up. But I want them, if they're going to try something new, now is the time to do it. When it counts, yes, you're going to make mistakes, but I'd rather not throw my players into the fire. And I just feel like that to me is the difference between the Phillies organization compared to an organization even like the Dodgers. The Dodgers aren't afraid to do those types of things. They aren't afraid to draw bunts. They aren't afraid, to make adjustments in at-bats and just be able to implement new things to just work on in spring training. I saw the other day, I think it was Freddie Freeman that bunted. I could be wrong, but they wanted they wanted to do something new. I don't really think that Freddie Freeman should bunt, but I'm pretty sure it was Freeman. I could be wrong, but they had a certain situation with like runners on at first and third, and they tried something, and they weren't afraid to sort of catch the defense off guard and implement something new, right? Like, now's the time to do that. This is how you learn. This is how you grow. If Orion Kirkering is working on his splitter, I want to see that in a real game. I want him to pitch. I need him to get practice. Okay, it's great that he's been working on stuff during the offseason. That's cool. That's great. And it's nice that they're doing things that are not in games, but I need to see this stuff in games, because that is the only way that you can get real-time, legit practice, and you have something to go off of. So that is what kind of disappointed me today when I was listening to the Phillies, that a lot of it was just same old stuff. They don't try to implement those new things. Now, of course, do I want Justin Crawford, if there's a runner on over at first and second, do I want him to practice situational hitting? Yes, but I'd rather have him practice bunting right now. Call me crazy. I'd rather have him practice bunting in a situation like that, because there's going to be times where he's going to have to try to do that. If you're going to have to sacrifice an out, you got to do it the right way. You need those opportunities. And so it doesn't matter what the score is. What matters is that these players are putting in the work, trying new things, and the coaching staff is not afraid to work on those things. That's ideally what I want. I'm fine with them trying out Otto Kemp in left field. I'd also be okay if when Aiden Miller gets a chance to come over here, do they try him out over at third? Do they try him out over at short? He's literally said plenty of times, you can even hear it when he was interviewed not too long ago, that he's willing to play whatever position he has to play. And he talked about third base and center field. And those, to me, are the two holes, right? So that's what spring training is all about. How do we see the young guys do? Who's going to battle for that final roster spot? Who's going to give it their all? But also, what types of changes are being made from everybody? And that stuff is what we need to see in spring training. Now, some of it we don't necessarily hear about, which is kind of annoying and a little bit frustrating, because you think to yourself, well, they didn't try something new here. But then when you hear about like what's going on in the dugout and you hear maybe them just elaborate more on what they're trying to do, then you get a better perspective on that. But that's just my 2 cents on it. And so I was a little bit overall annoyed that that hasn't happened a lot in spring training so far. 0-2 situations. That's the other thing, too. How do these hitters adjust? What types of mechanic changes do they make compared to what they were doing last year? I need to see all that stuff in real games, even if it's spring training. Okay? When you're on the mound throwing and you're doing bullpen sessions, that's just like shoot around, you know, or practicing drills. That's not in game, in real time play that you're getting. So that's what bugged me. And I spent a lot of time harping on that. Marsh today did ground out over to third and also made an air out in right field. You saw just lack of discipline from Arun Escobar over at second base, trying to flip a double play. They got to brush up these things. I really would like to see Arun Escobar take another step in his game. And that's a guy who, again, has to be ready for the moment. And the ball was hit right to him, and he wasn't ready for it. So he has to be better. His judgment has to be much better than what it was in that first inning. So, am I a little bit tough on these guys? Yeah, I am. And by the way, sorry, Arun played over at second, not shortstop. Brian Rincon played over at short. Jose Rodriguez did good, though. Lined out to center. I thought that he hit the ball. He could have gotten on base 3 times the way that it sounded. Had the RBI single back in the 5th. And then he got on with a single again in the 7th. So that's good stuff. Nice for him to take advantage. So that's cool. But yeah, not really much else that I have to say about the hitting. Now, on the pitching side of things, Alan Rangel, a lot of the guys that pitched today, this was more of like a back of the bullpen, like final 2 roster spots for the bullpen type of a day where you really got to see an audition for that. And Rangel did not have a good day. His pitches were a little bit flat. This guy is throwing 92 to 94 with his 4-seamer. He doesn't necessarily have the high speed that a lot of these hard throwing pitchers have. So you gotta be able to paint your corners, and you have to have another pitch that's deadly. And the curveball today, the changeup, it sounded like it was a little bit flat at times. He walked a couple of batters. He gave up a hit, gave up an earned run. The defense certainly did not help him, and I will also give him that. I understand he could have gotten himself out of the inning with a 4-6-3 double play. But sometimes when your defense doesn't have your back, you got to find ways to get those extra outs, even if they are just extra outs. So that's just the nature of the game. That's how it goes. Dallas only pitched a third of an inning, and then Trevino pitched an inning. He did okay. Seth Johnson did fine. I thought it was interesting how Rob actually had him go more than one inning today. Maybe Seth Johnson is the guy that they're going to have that makes the back end of the bullpen roster. And if the Phillies need to have like a long day where they have to go to their relief pitchers, Seth Johnson might be one of those guys. So it's important for the Phillies to have him have a good spring training because he'll be fighting for that final roster spot in the bullpen. Alan Wallen, though, did good. That was actually really the standout. I wish I could have, or Andrew Wallen, excuse me, did very good today. And again, you're going up against, second-tier players, but for him to get 3 strikeouts in an inning of work and for his fastball to look good and some of his other off-speed pitches, that is nice. I don't think he's going to make the final roster spot. But again, sometimes what happens is you have these guys that just aren't necessarily on your radar, but because they are doing well in spring training, they have a chip on their shoulder. They're trying to do whatever they can to make that final roster spot, and they're giving you their all. And they have that hunger, that blue-collar mentality. And that's what I think is really cool, again, about the World Baseball Classic. Guys are moving up to play for their countries. There's more opportunities for young guys to play. It's a cool thing. So that's pretty much all I have. Not really much. So, again, the Phillies do fall short to the Tampa Bay Rays. They lose 3-1. We're sort of getting to this moment in time now with baseball, with spring training, where it's like, all right, we have the World Baseball Classic to look forward to, and that should be cool. And, yes, we get to see other guys play for their teams and new guys try things out. But it's sort of starting to also get to the point where it's like, all right, like spring training is sort of getting a little bit stale, like let's try to pivot more towards World Baseball Classic type of a thing. But of course we're still going to be covering the Phillies, but I guess that the whole thing of what I'm trying to say as I ran on this is starting to get a little tired, starting to get a little bit like when do the games matter, that type of a thing. That's really what I'm trying to say. So but yeah, let me know what your thoughts are down below. If you did watch this on the post-game recap, again, make sure that you guys comment down below what your thoughts are about how the Phillies did today, what your responses are to my takes that I just mentioned during this post-game show. I love you guys very, very much. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe as well. You guys are the absolute best. And I will catch you all on the next one. All right? Take it easy. Lila Tove will be back on for the Sixers tonight. That game will be at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. So we'll catch you all then. Bye.